Hi, my name is Elizabeth Schlender, and here's my QEP report from the group project that I did with Gavin and Stephanie. For the first question, discover what was the real-world situation that you and your team addressed in this assignment or activity, and in what ways might this be a problem? The problem was that the hypothetical organization was helping at-risk teenagers, and we, the organization, was responsible for gathering their information and putting it into our system. And because we had that massive amount of information, there was a lot of risk in not securing it properly, because a third party could easily hack the system and have access to hundreds of students' information, and we would be at fault for that. So the goal is to secure the student information. What are some possible causes for this problem? Lack of training for those who are working the computers, because they might not understand how to really secure that information and to what software to use. And so our job is to make sure that we're properly training our employees and giving them the necessary tools to be well equipped to handle the information that they receive from the students. What are some possible solutions to the problem that you and your team identified? I was responsible for stage 2, and the solutions that I came up with, also through talking to my team members, was securing passwords, and we wanted to come up with modules that we could train the employees with. So one would be securing your passwords, another was credit card information and securing that information, phishing or spoof emails, and learning how to recognize those emails, and being aware of the 7 points that you can look for mistakes in an email that would make it look suspicious, and you would know that it was not a real organization who sent that email. And the other was identity theft, and just understanding what it is and how easily it can be done if you're not aware and you're going through all of the necessary precautions to secure your information. Why did one or some of these possible solutions appear stronger than others to you or your team? Personally, well, our team as a whole decided that password security would be the first and the most important to stress in the training. Not that they're all important, they are, but we wanted to start with password security because with receiving the information from hundreds of students or at-risk teenagers, they are setting up multiple accounts for each student. Not multiple accounts for each student, but each student is setting up an account when they give the organization their information, and they have to set up a password and username. And so I think it's very important that you understand how to have very secure passwords, so that you're able to create that wall around the information, and it will be much harder to get through and to have access to that information. For the design step, what could be done to try to solve this problem? Train the employees with training modules. Why would this solution address or fix the problem? Because you're setting up accounts with new information every day, just like I said on the other question as well. And having the necessary knowledge to set up secure passwords would help to significantly lower the risk of a third-party hacker getting access to all of the students' information. What are the strengths and limitations of this possible solution? A strength would be that you would have more secure accounts. A limitation would be the dictionary hack for passwords, because if the password they create happens to be in the list of passwords, then it says that in the module that we took a while back on password security, it said that time wasn't a factor, because if the password is in the list of dictionary passwords, then the hacker will have access to that. So that would be a limitation, and just making sure that password is just as strong as possible and difficult to guess. Why should you or your team's proposed solution to the real-world problems be considered creative, reasonable, or powerful? It is reasonable because password hacking is a regular occurrence, and strengthening those walls will help to fortify the information and secure it. And what did you consider to make your presentation of the solution persuasive? Including a lot of details for each module that we came up with, and explaining thoroughly why each one was necessary and important, and what the outcomes would be. Because if if the employee understands the significance of taking this module and the benefit that they will gain from going through the training, then they will be more willing to go through the training and more receptive to the information. What feedback did you receive about the persuasiveness of your solution? My team members said that it was a great suggestion, and they all agreed that that was the best training module to start with, the password security. What new learning or insights did you or your team gain through this real-world problem-solving experience? It was interesting for me, just researching each module as I was coming up with the 5 different modules to include in Stage 2. The reason why I chose those was because in the process of going through research on Google and just looking for different training modules, those were the recurring modules that I would see on multiple websites for new companies and training employees. And so I knew that if those were prioritized in real-world situations and companies, then that was equally important for our company, even though it was a hypothetical situation. So that was interesting, just learning about that. What would you or your team do differently to improve, discover, design, deliver skills of creative real-world problem solving in the future? Honestly, there's nothing that I would change. I thought that this project was very helpful, and I learned a lot, so it's beneficial to every student who would take it and would work through it, so I wouldn't make any changes. How would you evaluate the overall problem-solving ability of you and your team? As a team, I thought we were a great team and we were effective. It was enjoyable to work with 2 other students, and fun to put our heads together and see what we could come up with. So overall, I would say it was very helpful and a success. Thank you.